Alright, hi everybody, it's Paul I 22. Yo! I'm gonna be king of light. Go, yo! Yeah. I was surprised actually. Lion came out with a freezing episode review before I did. Yo. Yeah, this episode. Alright, I will say this though. I'm taking the anime only watchers and I'm putting you over to the side for the time being. Manga watchers. Yes, people who are watching the anime of Freezing Vibrations and who read the manga. There were some complications in this episode, I'm going to say right now. Because there were some things that they didn't hit it. They didn't hit it. It was I just felt that it was obvious in this episode towards the end. And I was like, wait a minute. There were some things that they left out. They left out. I was like, I can honestly say, probably the rating for Freezing, what I'm going to eventually give this is a 7 out of 10. I'm sorry, people, but it's just, they did things about this season, and I hope they can learn from this and do it proper next time. You know, like, why put the freaking sibling arc in this anime? That screwed them over. But yeah, let's get into this. Nova Crash. We had, Amelia facing off against O'Hara, and if she finds out pretty much what she was doing was creating clones of Maria, the original archetype for the Pandora'S, and Amelia, she just turns into a Nova. Oh shit, that was major hype. Yo, that was crazy. That was insane. And she reacts with the other whatchamacallit? Yeah, the Marias, and basically create clones. I was bad. That part was fucking insane. But yeah, and then we have we go back to Chiffon, and she took out pretty much, and this is what I was talking about, because in the manga it was much longer, the fight, and they obviously cut out a few things, but she took care of Rana and Stabilizer, and Chiffon's like, oh, you this is what you caused, is devastation. And basically, the Marias, they go inside the Nova that Amelia is now, and they just wreck the fucking place. Oh shit, that was hype. And what ends on happening? Kazuya's grandfather, Gengo Aoi, shows up on the scene, and he's like, I'm taking over this shit. It's pretty much what he said. They arrested the guy who was in charge of it. He's like saying, oh, these you're experimenting on humans, and that's enough of that. And he's going to take charge. So he takes charge. And basically, it was the L. Bridget family who told him about this and brought him in and have him take charge of the situation. So it was all because of Satellite, and I was able to rectify the situation. So they take care of the situation, and basically what ends on happening is this Nova that Amelia starts to head for the proton reactor. It's not good. And while it's moving that direction, this thing comes out in the sky, this symbol. It's pretty much what ends on happening is the Nova that Amelia turned into disrupts the Stigmata in all the other Pandora'S. Pretty much fucks them up, and they go crazy, like covering their ears and shit, and everyone's getting the feedback of that resonance, and especially Satellizer. And basically, what ends on happening is she wakes up from being unconscious when Chiffon brings them both outside, and everybody gets it. Everyone, their Stigmatas are shining and shit and stuff, and what ends on happening is Satellite gets up and starts fighting Chiffon again, and she's like possessed. And it was pretty insane. And then that's when forgot his name. Chiffon's limiter tells Kazuya, if you don't do, you have to do this. Basically tells him if he doesn't go freezing on her, Chiffon's gonna kill her. So that's when he basically explains to Kazuya that if you do a freezing, you can connect with her, and you can go into her mind and shit, and stop her. And then Chiffon's like saying how that's if it doesn't succeed, he'll be lost forever. So he basically does that. He goes into her mind area, and kind of an interesting way they pulled it. They had like him going through there, and he meets her and he sees her, and it was a nice little flashback we see of Satellite's her mother and everything, and she's alone, that whole bit. And we see that symbol we saw in the sky, and she's going towards like mother, and stuff. And he tries to stop her, but the one who officially stops her is Rana. Grabs her arm. And she's like, you're not alone, because you're always hogging Kazuya. So she had those moments, and they save her there, and that's basically what happened there. And like I was saying before, the manga, it's extended. Much more things happen. So obviously they cut a few things. But still, it was good. Then after that whole bit, they saved her. They basically on their way to fight this Nova. It's just spreading doom and destruction. He was throwing down Marias to fight them, like an army of Marias. And that's when it happens. Yo, major hype. Then when it's marching ready to go in there, they show on the screen, Kazuya and everybody, Chiffon. And his grandfather sees him, he's like, Kazuya. Yeah. And we see Chiffon saying to them, we'll lay down our lives. And yo, anti-Nova, Chiffon opens her eyes. I was like, oh shit. Yes, we're going to get this next week. Yes, she opens her eyes. She's ready to go. Anti-Nova here in place. I was like, wow. Yo, major hype. Major. Now, overall, this is a good episode. Like I said, 4 out of 5. That's pretty much what happened in the episode. It's just, it's obvious now. It's obvious that they screwed up a lot of times. They weren't consistent with the manga, and I was a little upset about it. It's still good. It's not like they completely deviated. I mean, they showed the main points, but still, they obviously cut out a few things. But this is anime, and this is to be expected. Listen, yo, you anime-only watchers, now that I explain things to the manga watchers, I am an anime-only watchers who are going to watch this video. Next week, listen, you have to be careful for next week. Next week, oh man, shit. Listen, you guys have no idea how this goes down next week. Next week is going to be ridiculous. What happens? You might be a little pissed. I'm just saying. I don't want to spoil, but I'm just saying. But this was a good episode. Like I said, the whole thing about freezing vibration, obviously, for me, I can see it now. In this episode, they took some shortcuts. And if I was going to judge this episode plainly, not on animation, not on what happened in the episode, if I was judging it based on how consistent it was, I'd give this a 3. But because majority of the stuff they showed is what we needed to be shown, and it wasn't exact, I understood from watching this episode, they still did a good job. So I'm going to give this a 4. Chiffon. Chiffon Fairchild. Listen, next week, she goes in, people. She goes in. She's like the Pandora Queen Bee. Yes, I went there. She's the Queen Bee of Pandora'S. Hey, I might like Satellites of Bridget, but Chiffon Fairchild, yo, move aside. She would. Yeah, she will. She's all that in a bag of chips. But good episode, like I said, 4 out of 5. Next week's the final episode, pretty much. I'm gonna say yeah. It's probably next week's gonna be the final episode. Pretty good show. Freezing, vibration, yeah. But yeah, we'll see how it goes down. I mean, it goes down. Oh shit! I'm just thinking about it, and it just gives me like this sign of like, oh shit, oh shit. I'll be like a John Cena. You can't see me. Oh shit. But yeah, that's the story, people. Bankai 22. Like, dang yeah. I'll see you guys later. Chiffon Fairchild. You guys, I'm the only watchers. Get your seatbelts ready. You got your seatbelts ready for next week? I hope you have them. Because if you don't have your seatbelts ready, your face is gonna hit the fucking wall, and you're gonna be missing teeth. I tell you right now, it is that hyped for next week. So yeah, I'm Bankai 922. I will see you guys later. Chiffon. Shit. She's the shit. See you guys later. Peace.